Take out a high leverage loan because
We're going to the moon.
this is gonna be a breeze. It is Tuesday, November the 27th, and Baller, I only have one thing on the agenda for us today, and that is for us to explain things. Take 30 seconds to a minute to explain what things are.
Things are those pieces of information that you want to capture throughout a day. So it's that random thought that you had, it's the experience that you had with a friend, it's the it's like the quote that your grandma says to you while you're talking to her on the phone. These are all things that you want to write down. And we felt comfortable adopting that name because it is something people say so often, where they say, I've got so many things to do. Like, I have a lot of things going on.
I want to remember that thing.
I want to remember that.
I should write that thing down.
All of these
Instances.
moments that we'd like to capture can be captured in twos because it breaks it down into things. It's not notes, it's not documents, it's not pages. It's writing things down. So the system of twos enables you to write down anything at any time, any place, because we always have our phones with us, and we just want to help more people remember and share things.
Mm-hmm. Twos used to be called twos, notes, and lists. And so we were on the phone with my mom, and I was standing at the door of your room in this very apartment. Speakerphone. And if I'm not mistaken, she goes, what is the difference between a note and a list? And we were like, notes are just the things you write down. And she goes, wait, why aren't they just called things?
Yeah.
Because they're not notes.
Yeah.
They're things.
Yeah.
And in that very moment, we looked at each other and we go,
this is going to be so easy. Let's go.
Take out a high leverage loan because
We're going to the moon.
this is gonna be a breeze. So what immediately followed her saying that was us searching our twos for the word notes. Lists would pop up that were like notes on certain subject or
Meeting notes.
meeting note with Alexandra. It would only pop up in certain instances. But then we looked up the word things, and it was voluminous. Mm-hmm. It was things about this person, things to remember, things I love about myself, things to do, things I need to pick up from the store, things. And so that confidence that we had in just changing the word from notes to things was enough for us to like kind of adopt a completely new identity. It is amazing to me how complicated we find it to portray that message to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think it's due to the nature of like how simple yet powerful the concept behind it is. And how many competitors out there are like kind of vying for a similar impact.
With more like complexity and craziness.
When in reality, what it comes down to is kind of the initial way that my life was changed forever and your life was changed forever, with taking something that is clouding your judgment, something you want to do, an idea that you had, a recommendation that you received, and being able to almost like make it permanent. It's the only way to pass along like learnings from previous years.
Lex Fridman, he had Elon on recently, and Elon was going on and on about history and different civilizations. It's kind of how we learn from what went right and what went wrong, and like why was one side successful in a war, or why were they even fighting in the first place? Like all of these things that can be learned from the past if they take the time to write things down. And certain civilizations wrote a lot of things down, This is what he's saying. And other civilizations did not write a lot of things down. So we don't really know much about some civilizations and why they...
Are you trying to tell me that like the Roman Empire probably wrote a lot of things down?
So he literally said in the podcast, the Romans loved writing. And we know a bunch about them because they wrote a lot down.
I actually had a wonderful Twos in the Wild recently. My buddy Stu. He had a quote last year from Thanksgiving where he said, I was made responsible for making the family cocktail for this year's Thanksgiving. And he made agua de Valencia. And that is a drink that was originated in Valencia, Spain, where we studied abroad together. And it's a combination of rum, vodka, and orange juice, if I'm not mistaken. And they like only let you have one of them, like at bars in Valencia, because they're like, it's bad news.
Yeah.
So he had a quote saying, I made agua de Valencia for my family, and after one glass, everybody is wasted. So I wrote that down in twos. It did not particularly have a list that it fit to.
Yeah.
The only list that it would have made sense for that to go to would have been Stu quotes.
Bad decisions.
Things you should not do on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But so since it did not have a list particularly, I just wrote it down on my day. I was looking at my memories. I saw that thing. It made me so happy to be able to remember that and then share it with Michael and Stu.
Yeah.
So that we could all reminisce around that moment. Mm-hmm. And it's not something
That would have been forgotten.
So,
Who made the what drink did we have?
like what was it called? Who had it? And you could not have taken a picture of that thing. Like, sure, you could have taken a picture of the Agua de Valencia.
Or him making it.
But you would have never been able to capture the thoughts associated around making it.
Yeah.
And people getting drunk because of it.
Yeah.
Full circle here. We have specifically designed twos around that simple power.
Yep.
Some of it is related to memory, nostalgia, just like what I emphasized about my experience with Stu and Mike. Some of it is related to getting things done and productivity and being able to, again, not to sound like a broken record, remember things you need to do. Some of it is about sharing things that you've thought, experienced, been recommended, or believe in. But it all at its core is around the literal life-changing power of writing things down. And while it may sound incredibly simple or incredibly complex right now, you can experience those very intrinsic benefits by just opening twos and writing down whatever it is that's on your mind, exploring what features currently exist in order to make it more beneficial for you to get value out of the things that you write down, or to what Parker said, I think even before we started recording, just the act of capturing individual pieces of information.
Yeah, just getting them out of my mind. Not needing to remember them, but just like having written them down brings me a lot of comfort.
And this is, I would say, our call to action to you. Anything that you have thought of like throughout this episode that, you know, would have been easier understood up front or that is still confusing about things, please let us know in the comments. For the wheel in the upcoming episode, we'll just double the price. Until next time,
Two's out.
two's out.